Hello everyone! Now that schools are starting up again, I may end up posting videos a little later than normal, but I do plan on posting a video once a week. As for the video today, I plan on discussing one of my most favorite perks in the game. One that you may see every now and again in Survive with Friends, that being For the People. For the People is a perk that belongs to Zarina Kassir, and it can be unlocked on her Blood Web at level 40. Back when people saw this perk, many players went crazy with how powerful the perk sounded, especially since it came around the patch where insta-syringes were nerfed. As the patch went live, people kinda forgot about it, except for a few people such as myself. I can honestly tell you the first perk I wanted to get in DBD was For the People, since picking survivors up instantly sounded funny to me. Now, what does this silly perk do? For the People is active whenever you are in the healthy state, which is when you are full health, obviously. Once you perform the healing action, whether on a injured or dying survivor, you can use the action button, which is E on PC, but I'm not sure what it is on console. Sorry. But once you do, the survivor instantly gains a health state. For the People doesn't give this effect for free, however, because once you use the perk, you lose a health state, and you are inflicted with the Broken Stats effect. I already talked about Broken in my Deliverance video, so if you want a refresher, you can watch that video. The Broken Stats effect lasts for 90 seconds at max tier, and one more thing to mention about For the People. Once you use the perk, you become the Obsession. For the People is one of the few perks that exist in DBD to control a certain type of killer playstyle, that being tunneling. Normally, when a tunneling killer notices someone gets unhooked, they drop everything and rush back to the downed person, or to the person to down them, and then put them back on the hook. There are a few perks such as Decisive Strike and Borrowed Time, which can control how long it takes for the killer to do what they want, but For the People is more dynamic than those two. For the People can also counter slugging playstyles by removing the slowdown on anti-healing perks, and it helps support other perks by bringing out their full potential. Or you could just run For the People as a fun little silly perk like I normally do. For the People is one of the few perks in DBD that can be run in multiple builds. However, I found these two builds to be relatively fun and useful in situations. These being the Survive with Friends space build and the Lovers build. With the Survive with Friends build, the 4 perks you run are For the People, Borrowed Time, an exhaustion perk such as Dead Hard or Sprint Burst, and lastly, Soul Guard. You would use Dead Hard or Sprint Burst as a form of mobility, either to gain distance on the killer, such as with Dead Hard, or use it to move faster towards a downed target, such as with Sprint Burst. For the People is there to help the survivor get picked up faster. Borrowed Time is there to help a survivor gain some safety from more campy killers. And lastly, Soul Guard is there to help you gain the Endurance status effect once you are picked up. Alone, this build is somewhat decent. But, with 2 or more people running this build, it really shows its full power. With other players picking you up with For the People, you gain the Endurance status effect from Soul Guard, making you get up in the game with some extra defense. Borrowed Time exists to help you when the killer is more protective of hooks, and the perk can be replaced with something else, but Borrowed Time is generally good to run. The 2 perks that make the build work, however, is Soul Guard and For the People. The power these two have in combination is much better than any other perk combo in the game. The second build I can recommend is the Lovers build. The 4 perks used in this build are For the People, Soul Guard, and Dead Hard. However, the last perk is different for the 2 players, because this build works exceptionally. This build only works when you have 2 players using this build. One player will run Blood Pact, while the other runs Decisive Strike. How the build works is that you have Dead Hard to gain some distance from the killer, Soul Guard and For the People to pick a survivor back up fast, and to give them the Endurance status effect to keep them alive for a little longer. Then, With one of the players, they have Blood Pact, where they can track their Obsession teammate, allowing them to recognize where they are going, as well as granting both players a small speed increase when together. The second player will have Decisive Strike, where if they aren't the Obsession, then they have another way of granting that title to themselves. As well as another way to keep themselves from dying, of course. Since For the People makes you the Obsession, once you get it on a teammate, the Lovers build trades the title between the two players over and over again. That is all I have to say about For the People. In the end, it's a very powerful perk when used correctly, and it can get even more value when you pull a few strings while using other perks. So whenever you want to hang out with your friends, or pretend to have a girlfriend in the game, For the People is there for you. Good luck in your games, everyone.